If you think today's show's gonna be dull, you don't know jack. Stay tuned. Coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're in the Design Center at the Stone Temple in the industrial park behind Myrtle Beach Lighting. We're focused on radio and television, and we're visiting with a longtime broadcaster, Banana Jack Murphy. Good morning, Jack.
Good morning, Greg.
Thanks so much for coming in.
I had to get up early to be here.
I know you did. That's
I'm sleeping in a lot lately.
I love it. I love it. You are taking it easy, but you got to be on. You'll be on air in about 45 minutes. About an hour.
With the television show. Yeah, River
the
Talk.
CW. You've been doing that since '97.
Can you believe that?
That's amazing.
I certainly can't, and I'm sure the sponsors can't believe that I'm still doing that show either.
I know.
It's hard to believe.
A decade this year.
Wow.
Do you know the exact date? You don't remember the exact date, the first day you went on, do you? We need to check with
It
Donald
was in
Smith.
June of
Was it in
'97.
June?
Yeah.
So next month, will you be celebrating your 10-year anniversary? We need to do something special for that. Throw a party.
I've been doing River Talk longer than I've been married to Barb, my wife.
You all met that same year, though, right? Or
No,
you
we met in
married that-
'95.
Oh, you met in '95,
Yeah.
but married in '97.
On the radio show. Yeah.
You married on the radio show?
No, we met on the radio show. No, I would never do anything for ratings. Probably should have.
Oh, my God.
I might have still had a radio gig.
Oh, wow. Speaking of that, yet, of course, a lot of our viewers in the PD and southeastern North Carolina have been listening to you for a long time, but particularly the folks here in Horry County and the Grand Strand, the Myrtle Beach area, been well known, of course, on WKZQ, 101.7 for many years, and then since 2001 on Wave 104 when you made the big move to replace Howard Stern.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
2 or 3 days after that took place.
I bet. There must have been some hate mail coming in.
Yeah, just a little bit. But, you know, my family's over that now, and we still speak at the family reunions. We buried that axe.
Oh, my God.
That was a little funky. You know, the thing is that when you've done radio, especially in one town for so long, you see trends.
Right.
You see things. History does repeat itself. The thing about being replaced by a syndicated show is funny because when Stern was on the air, he had ratings.
Right.
But this is an area of the country where just because you have ratings doesn't necessarily transcend into ad dollars.
Right,
and,
right.
And they had trouble getting and keeping sponsors on that show.
Is that right?
Yeah, because of the content of the
Sure,
of the
he
show.
would just go off the wall someday, and
Yeah.
an advertiser would call in and say, "I am through with Wave."
Well, I don't know if necessarily that happened or not.
could,
but
yeah, sure.
But yeah, and there was just some folks who wouldn't associate their business with that.
Right, right.
So that's where I stepped into the picture. I was
Sure.
like,
wholesome.
I would not say that, but when he came into the market, it allowed me to do some things that I wouldn't ordinarily do. But
Right.
you know, I live here. You got to be really, really careful because this is still a small town.
Yeah, sure.
Based on, you know, trust me, if I said something bad on the air, I would hear about it at the grocery store, at the dry cleaners.
You've got that many dedicated viewers that are tuning in that
Oh,
regular.
sure.
That yeah, sure.
Yeah, so it's funny because revenue-wise, you know, I don't want to dwell on the whole thing that took place with Next Media because they were good to me and they allowed me to do a farewell broadcast, which is unheard of.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. No, go ahead. That's right.
But it's just interesting that the reason I replaced Stern was because they wanted a local presence.
Right.
And so now they've completely forgotten why I went over there to begin with, and so you know.
Now, was the same crew at the helm in 2001 when you came in?
Locally, I don't think this decision came down from like locally.
Right.
With the market manager. He's a great guy. I don't have any bone to pick with him. This came from a corporate program point of view. The operations manager here is a friend of mine. We remain friends now.
Sure.
I'm still friends with everybody there.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't want to burn any bridges.
Right.
It wasn't how I wanted it to end, obviously, after 18 years, 1 day's notice. But, you know, I got to go on the air and say goodbye. A lot of people are still just finding out about it. And,
Yeah, sure.
But, you know, it's weird. I don't miss it as much as I thought I would, Greg.
Is that right,
Yeah,
Jack?
my alarm clock would go off at 3:45.
I was about to say, you were up very early in the
Very
morning to
early.
be there. And what time were you regularly in the studios, either at Wave or at KZQ?
I'd get there at 5 in the morning. Show
Right.
would start at 6.
Sure.
I try to give a guy a good 5-hour day.
Oh my God! Yeah.
You know, that's the
So
kind
you're
of
there from
employer
5 to
was.
10. That's right. For the most part, there was no need to hang out.
Yeah, I'd
much.
hang out and do
Right.
you know, commercial production. So I
Sure.
would typically stay there till noon.
Okay.
But 12:01, you no longer become a morning man. You slip into afternoon time. So that was the cue when I'd hit the door.
Quickly out. Yeah.
But it was a good ride, and I met a lot of friends, made a lot of contacts, and it's been a big move, obviously. And
Yeah.
the initial shocks worn off, and I'm loving the fact that I get to sleep in. And
I love it too.
Yeah.
Your last broadcast was exactly 2 weeks ago today, this morning. I mean,
Sure.
it was occurring. Share with viewers what that was like. Of course, when you're in a setting and you've been there for almost 18 years. I think you said you've been in radio 24 years.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a desire to get back in it now, or I mean, are you missing it already? Of course, you're probably not. But share with viewers what that last. Maybe give TV viewers a sense of what it's like behind the scenes in a radio in a cockpit or whatever it is there that you're broadcasting to viewers from.
I equate it to a messy divorce, where the last words after you're handed the divorce papers is, "We can still be friends." I mean, that's how I would necessarily, because I didn't see it coming, and then right out of the blue, that's about the closest thing I could say.
Yeah.
Because it was a personal business. My approach to how I did the show was completely different than most folks.
Mm-hmm.
I was never the greatest guy that was ever on the air in Myrtle Beach by any stretch of the imagination.
Who was that, by the way?
Wow, don't put me on the spot
I'm
there.
sorry, Jack. Yeah, that's. Who are some of the great? Go ahead. Finish your sentence. Forgive me.
You've messed me up.
I'm sorry. You were saying
I used to be so sharp at this hour in the morning. I'm rusty. I can never go back. But I had. It was comfortable for me.
Right.
When you do something 18 years, you get to know what they would call. I would know when people would have birthdays, when their dog was lost, and I just said, man, you know, somebody's dog's lost. I would mention it on the air. People are like, why'd you do a lost dog announcement? Have you ever lost your dog? And it's funny because to this day, and this will go on and on and on. People assume that I know them, and I've never met them.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the beauty of how we did our show. We just talked to people. We didn't talk at them. And that was something that I learned from growing up in a small town. You're just nice to everybody because you never know. You know, Donald Smith, who produces your show and my show, River Talk, back, I'm thinking 13 years ago, we used to throw him, you know, some chump change to do some camera work for a television project I was in.
Myrtle Beach Days, yeah, you and Ralph.
You got to be nice to everybody because you never know where that's going to take you.
That's true. That opened the door for him to ask you to do River Talk for his show.
Sure did, yeah.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Share with viewers real quick what it's like on the air, just to give a sense of what a radio setting is like. What are you doing in there for 4 hours? I mean, is it, there's a lot of pre-recorded stuff. I mean, what's that like, even if you're doing a local show? Just give us a sense.
I've always done a one-man show. It was a little different. Occasionally, back in the early days at KZQ, when I came in, I will tell you, Banana Jack Murphy, I never assumed that air name until I came to Myrtle Beach.
Is that right? So
I had to be Banana something.
Right.
And my legal name just did not jive.
Yeah.
Just did not jive, and I'm not going to reveal that now.
That's right. It's still a big secret.
Yeah, it's a big secret, you know, because chicks still dig me.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll be looking for me.
That's right. Looking up Jack Murphy. Where is he?
See that right there? You have one of those. They're like, there's a man who can commit.
That's right.
But it was really fun. I had to be Banana something, and the whole way we presented that, I was hanging out at Pawleys Island, in front of what used to be the A&P, with a suitcase and a case of bananas. And leading up to that, we had staged this deal that I was a pool boy in the Caribbean, and I was trying to get back to the Carolinas where my family was. And we did this for about 2 weeks. KZQ was doing a power upgrade, and I had to be Banana something and just couldn't figure out a name. Well, Banana Jack.
Right.
I just said, that just rhymes.
Yeah.
And Jack is a takeoff on a family name, Jackson.
Right.
So I said that, and my legal name, everybody called me Merv.
Right.
I will tell you, one of my names is Marvin. Banana Marvin would not cut it, would it?
Cut it.
It just would not cut it. So
right.
I just became
Barb
Banana.
would have never married you.
She'd have never married a Marvin.
Yeah. Not that there aren't some great Marvins.
Oh, sure, yeah. Name one. Okay.
Look, pal, I tried to get the radio broadcaster out of you, and you didn't name
Marvin Kalb was one. Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Okay.
Yeah. And
you're going a lot further than
then Messy Marvin, the cartoon character. So that was essentially it. I had to be Banana something back in '89, and that's how that worked out.
Yeah.
It is different because doing a one-man show, you can't compare what I did to like some of the big satellite guys or even some of the other morning shows, because when you have two people, then you're obviously drawing on more experiences. And I learned that I just was, not that I didn't have enough to say, I could talk nonstop for 4 hours, but why? So the music actually became the main part of the show, because there's nobody who plays music on a morning radio show.
And of course, viewers or listeners would have never seen you had you all not been very out in the open and plastering your face all over the place and utilizing the web there. But for listeners who'd never even seen any of those things, they could see you clearly that last broadcast 2 weeks ago. And maybe you can give a little sense of what that was like for folks who weren't in town or just hearing about it now who may have missed that. It was pretty emotional. That last, and of course it's supposed to end at 10, and they let you have the first break of the 10 o'clock hour, so those 2 minutes, a lot of folks may not have recognized the emotion that was coming out of it.
I cried like a little girl.
Yeah, I heard that,
got choked
Jack.
up. I went through the whole show because it was emotional. I was in the process of planning the 18th anniversary, where I was going to have folks that I'd interviewed and done just to call in and say hello. You know how you do all those.
Yeah.
Well, on one day's notice, you can't get anybody to do that.
So on Monday, the 16th, they met with you and said...
Right after my broadcast. And the way we shoot River Talk is that I would actually leave the radio station promptly at 10 and start shooting TV at 11.
Right.
So in between there, after I was told I needed an answer by 5 o'clock, I had to go do River Talk and interview employees of the company of which I'm no longer a member.
You were interviewing folks
I interviewed Steve Porter.
Lord,
and he's talking about, how
we love Next Video.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm like,
going on a trip.
I didn't let on. Yeah. That was some good acting right there. That could get me an Emmy.
You need to get those back home, stream them online.
Yeah,
Tiger Radio. Yeah.
So that was an interesting day.
Wow.
And so it was.
So they met with you right at 10 and just said, just simply, give us a little sense of what, without picking on the guy or gal who had to meet with you.
No, the decision has been made.
I'm sorry, the decision's been made, and your show's being canceled, and
they wanted me to stick around.
Right.
They did. In all fairness, they offered me the 9 to noon slot, but financially. It was an insult.
Right.
But they did offer.
Sure.
Because they did want me to hang around, and I just thought it would be more advantageous for them for me to stay around. And having done some research on the show that previous night, I didn't like some of the things that the show was doing.
The new show that's
on
it's
now.
Hot beer and nuts, or
close.
Free beer and hot
wings.
Hot wings.
For those that think Banana Jack is a stupid name, free beer and hot wings.
Okay.
And those guys, in all fairness, they do a pretty good show.
Where are they based?
Somewhere in Michigan.
In Michigan.
Yeah.
So it's coming out from Michigan.
Yeah.
Right. But it's live. How is it? It's just fed by satellite or something?
Fed by satellite. It's on other stations, and it is hard to believe that it was cheaper to get a satellite show than it was to keep me. It's kind of weird.
Wow.
But they did offer me a position, but when I stopped and thought about it, I was like, I don't like what these guys are doing. Their content is a little racier.
Be tough to come after.
Yeah.
Sure.
So.
Well, that is very interesting. So you cried like a baby, Jack.
And
you've got a son, Tristan.
At the end, I did. I got choked up because the reality is that this could well be it.
Yeah.
But only if I want it to be. If I want to get back in radio.
It was emotional for all your listeners. Of course, I wasn't a regular Wave listener, but and of course, it was great that they did give you that first 2 minutes of the into the break or into that next show.
Sure.
To give you the chance to wrap it up there. But for folks who, in radio, you're just listening and trying to picture things. TV without sight, you're just trying to picture it. And of course, to picture you in there, standing there with, I guess, Prez or somebody in tears, that's a tough thing.
It was weird.
Yeah.
I wish I could have. It is what it is.
And you and Barb, was she there with you or waiting for you out?
No, she was at home. She called in. She's been real supportive and real great about this. When we got the word, the marketing side of her came out because I have another business that I do on the side. We'll get to that in a bit.
Let's talk about that.
But I told her at 5 o'clock on Monday when I was supposed to already made the decision.
Right.
And I says, you got 5 minutes. And she was in her office because she does some things on the side as well. And she goes, what are you selling? I was like, I'm not selling anything. You know, I've always told you that I could no longer be in radio at the drop of a hat. I says, tomorrow's my last day. So she got over the initial shock of that, and then she just started sending out emails to everybody in the community, her contacts. So it's kind of cool. She called in and read some classifieds from the Myrtle Beach Herald on the air.
Oh, great. Yeah. Good. Even better. Very nice.
Did you like that right there?
Yeah. Good. Good. I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's reading some classifieds.
I love it. I didn't hear the whole show. Yeah.
So it's a joke.
Yeah, that's great.
We've made the most out of it.
Good. Yes, as you said, lemonade out of lemons.
Out of lemons.
That's great.
And I'm sure that there was some apprehension because I know that some of the folks that pulled the decision making here locally were out of the market, but they were listening online.
Right.
And they were a little apprehensive about what I might do.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to burn any bridges.
No, of course, sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's talk a little bit about some of what you are doing now. You know, as we noted in the Herald this past Thursday's edition, which is out in newsstands right now, we have Banana Jack Murphy airing obviously today, and moving on and up, moving on and up.
I like that.
You know, moving on and up.
Moving on up.
It sounds like
to
the
east
Jeffersons
side.
or something.
Yeah.
That's right. But I mean, it's a great opportunity to really move.
Wheezy was her name.
We missed that show. I do desperately. I missed that show. Moving on and up. What are some of the? You mentioned the company that you've been associated with as a leader since 2005, I believe.
Yeah, 2005.
Share with viewers a little bit about what that's about. We got about 8 minutes.
I was presented, ironically, from a former advertiser to my radio show that said, you know, look, you got a new addition to the family. We've got this concept that is kind of new to this area, which could save you some money. I said, well, I'm all about saving money,
yeah.
You know, especially with the expense of, you know, diapers. And it's like, oh, wow, man, how many diapers can a kid go through? You know.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, going, wow. And we got to get those nice wipes, you know, with the aloe. Why can't we just get the generic ones, you know? Just hose him off, take him out back, and, you know, hose him off. So I was looking at, and I was approached with a really neat concept. You can buy into things, or you can just you can either get involved or committed. And I kind of got involved, but now I'm committed. It is a great concept. Mm-hmm. I'm willing to sit down with, and a lot of businesses that are here along the Grand Strand are going to be receiving calls. Many already have.
Good.
And we've got some meetings set up. It's a group buying concept. I mean, because of the way the company is structured, we don't particularly advertise. It's all word of mouth based.
Right.
But it's pretty awesome. I mean, we can go in and set up something, 30 minutes time. I can sit down and show you where I can give you Fortune 500 group buying power for your family or your small business. Show you how you can advertise to 500,000 people at no additional cost.
Wow.
So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's a pretty awesome thing. It has been a lifesaver for us. We always had that backup revenue stream. I think that comes from my family. We've always been in small business and entrepreneurial spirit. I think that I might have been maybe the first generation that ever had a job.
Oh, come on.
No,
outside of your family business.
Yeah. They just always had their own businesses.
Right.
And we had a lot of them. A lot of them. Grocery stores, clothing stores, furniture stores, used cars.
Oh, now here we are.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, and I learned a lot about compounding interest and on-the-lot financing.
Very nice. That's critical things to learn.
Good stuff, yeah.
But group buying power, and this is for real. This is a company that's really making a difference.
The neat thing is that we don't have products that we sell. We go in and factor in a group buying contracted price with folks that people are already shopping with. Mm-hmm. The biggest retail chains.
Sure.
Jewelry, automobiles, factory direct with furniture. I mean, it's pretty awesome.
Factory direct with furniture?
Yeah.
Stuff like even here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
But we don't advertise and we don't reveal some of the, because we don't want to disrupt the retail deal. And I'm still a little hesitant even about talking about it because I like to do it one-on-one.
Right.
I mean, that's just,
it really is a one-on-one opportunity, and it's important.
I've been doing it about 2 years, and it was a real lifesaver for us because you can't discount insurance, but the company does research and they go out and find the best deal if you're a member of this network.
Right.
And I got a better deal than what I was paying as an employee
Okay.
of the radio stations.
Wow,
Yeah.
Jack. If a viewer wanted to learn more about that, is there a good phone number to call, or do they have an email address?
You know, my cell phone is now my business phone.
Listen up. Good,
Yeah.
good. Share that with viewers, please.
843-222-4652.
222-4652. How about if someone doesn't have access to a telephone, but they use the internet a lot?
I can read smoke signals.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
good. You have a website. Now, you've got, of course,
I've got several.
a lot of them. Yeah.
But I would probably say,
just pick up the phone, give you a call.
yeah, but TigerRadio.com.
Tiger Radio. Used to be Tiger Radio Online, and now TigerRadio.com.
Yeah.
I saw you recently kicked off MayberryGazette.com.
You know I love Andy Griffith.
I do. I love it.
And that's the newspaper there, and I've really come up with a kind of a neat concept. I was like, oh man, I can't compete with, you know, the forces of great newspapers like the Myrtle Beach Herald.
Say it again.
The Myrtle Beach Herald.
Right here.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah,
It's
right.
that's pretty neat.
Isn't that cool?
That's-
Sherry's idea. Donald backed it up as
I
well.
like that.
Yeah,
That's
Ray
pretty
likes
neat.
it too, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to get one that says, we'll work for food. Right there.
This one, dude.
Yeah,
I'll
you'll
hand
sell
it
that
off.
to me, right?
That's right, Tuesday morning.
But I think TigerRadio.com, we've got a blog up there now
Cool.
that people can comment about the show. I don't know if we're going to necessarily get back into streaming some of the stuff, but we've got
Right.
18 years of material, which is kind of cool. So
Oh, yeah.
we did do 2 or 3 funny things and entertaining things, and so I'm weighing out some options.
And
But
you've been recognized by the Sun News readers, the Best of the Beach, year after year after year. I saw it even back to '89. TV radio personality of the Beach, and the Orient Independent recognized you as their radio DJ of the Conway or of the area. The Myrtle Beach Herald subscribers recognized you as Radio DJ of the Year, which I saw when I Googled Banana Jack Murphy this morning. Google Banana Jack Murphy. It's pretty powerful.
pretty awesome stuff.
It is powerful to see that kind of presence there. Great stuff about you online. And, of course, your experiences. Folks can tune in about 30 minutes to see you on the CW. River Talk
Sure.
on Cable Channel 8 for a lot of people in this area on HTC, and I guess on Time Warner, maybe Channel 16, but it's principally Channel 8 on most systems, right?
Yeah, I think HTC is 16, and then that repeats at 1, 4, and 7.
Wow.
On HTC's
on
Channel
HTC
4.
Cable, and they are gigantic.
Oh, they're
Channel 4,
huge.
yeah. Yeah, we're going to be filming a week of episodes at the Carolina Forest location up there, which will be very interesting. HTC's got a lot of presence in the area. You know, when you think about all the experiences for you, Jack, and of course now having, as you said, a real opportunity to fall back on a very exciting company that's enabling you the group buying power, has that really opened your eyes to a lot of other opportunities?
Yeah, a lot. There's a lot of hours in a day when you think about it, and this has been a real blessing, I think, for me, because I've always, you know. I think a lot of folks are probably in the same boat that I was, is that they have grand ideas and they may be doing something out of their home, or
Right.
and they like that security, that little safety net of their job, and a lot of folks are just teetering on that brink. And it might take something like happened to me, you know, to go ahead and say, you know, let's just go full force on this, because you've been saying it, you've been doing the talk.
Right.
It's now time to walk the walk. And
That's very interesting.
And I think a lot of people are there. I mean, a lot of people that I've talked to are like, well, man, we can't believe. And I think they're saying, you know, if Banana Jack can get canned, maybe it could happen to me. Well, it can. So, you know, it's all. I like the entrepreneurial spirit, and I think I can help out folks that have already made that choice. I know I can, and I look forward to the opportunity to sharing what I've got.
And this is something to be available to everyone, or virtually everyone, or is it just select few?
No, it's everybody. If you've got a pulse, if you're watching this right now, yeah, it's a great opportunity to save some money, and there's a great opportunity to start something on your own and have a backup plan.
Good, and simply call in your mobile number, 843-222-4652. And would this be available for our viewers in the PD in southeastern North Carolina, or just right here?
Anywhere, yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, because
If
I
you've
got plenty of time to
pulse in
travel.
Laurinburg or in Hartsville.
I was up in Laurinburg. I was 20 miles from Laurinburg just last week.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That is
I'm
exciting.
all over the road.
That's exciting. What's been the biggest accomplishment for you in the last 20 years, Jack?
Marrying my wife.
Is that right? You outmarried yourself, didn't
Oh, I
you?
did.
Yeah.
It's always important to marry up. I didn't get married until I was 32. I turned 33 on my anniversary. I had a birthday luncheon with Chip and Dale down at the Disney Resort.
Oh.
I was like, you know, I had the goofy hat on. Well, actually, it was just a pointed hat. It wasn't the Goofy hat, because Goofy is a trademarked character from
Right,
Disney.
careful.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, Eisner's not running that really so much now, so I can say that.
Yeah.
But it was kind of cool, you know, waiting that long, because my dad says, you're never going to marry. I said, this is what I want.
Dude, I'm 36. Stop saying that. Yeah, I mean, you can wait as long as you need to.
As long as you need to.
Take your time.
Yeah. So
that's great. Barb Crumb's been
oh, she's awesome.
Yeah.
She proves it every day.
And you all have a child?
Yeah, Tristan.
Tristan.
Yeah.
Is that the greatest thing in the world, Jack? Other than marrying Barb?
Yeah. Yeah. And that puts, because, you know, in this business, ego-driven broadcasting, you have a tendency to just be that. It's ego-driven. And there is an amount of it's all about me and yourself, because you, especially when you do a one-man show, having a kid, and especially now, being able to see him grow up and wake up without an alarm clock and looking over there, and usually it's my son who comes and wakes me up and says, Daddy, dude.
I love it, Jack.
That's incredible.
Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Sure thing.
Congratulations.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Moving on and up. Stay tuned to more Banana Jack Murphy coming up next. Not everyone can take advantage of what seems like such a tough hit at a time and turn it, as you heard Jack say, from lemons into lemonade. That catastrophic meeting there just 2 weeks ago today, which has turned into something so special. We talk about moving on and up. You heard Jack say it. If you're in our viewing area, you have an opportunity to pick up the phone, 843-222-4652. Those twos are so critical here. It was 9/27 of 97 when he and Barb got together almost 10 years ago. Even more important, that 12/22/04. Think of that, the birth of his son, he and Barb's son, Tristan, 12/22/04. Ties in real well with that simple phone number, 222-4652. Pick up the phone, give him a call. If you're looking for an opportunity to move on and up, it's Banana Jack Murphy.